All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Greenbox Gaming. Place Delta Green Impossible Landscapes. You know, some of the pre-show banter we could never get away with, to be frank. But some of it is just like we could never recreate it. You just had to be there. I'm sorry we didn't record it for you. Ooh. Anyway, this is Joe. I'll be handling the shit show. I'm joined by my good friends Dace, playing Benji.
This is Dace. Joe just dropped an idea that is so fucking funny, and I can't handle it. Hi.
Brad playing Hank, who didn't say anything throughout all of that.
Hello, sorry.
And then, of course, Sean playing Benedict.
Hello. Brad wasn't liking our banter, but we would like.
I do know. I think it is a great idea. I do think it's a great idea.
Should we just share it now? Is that now?
I think it's.
Are you okay? I mean, this is a fucking $1 million
Somebody
idea.
might steal it.
If I put this out there, here's the thing: this idea, this name, is copyright Greenbox Gaming, 2024. So
okay,
so
there you go.
like
legal disclaimer.
This idea belongs to Greenbox Gaming.
You know
LLC.
what, Joe? That's
exactly
how the internet works. It's a good thing that you said that, right? Because
but now if someone goes and takes it, then we will have grounds for suit later.
Okay.
Oh, also, I should say, I legally own Joe Box.
Fuck you.
Dace own Joe Box LLC.
Is this just like dibs? Is this the American legal system? It's just
calling
called
dibs.
In the future, corporations are people and people are corporations. We can own people.
Well, it's like you can also do the opposite, where you touch the end of your nose, and that means that you're not. Your nose goes.
No takesy
I know
backsies.
that one. That's like not doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to drop this.
Okay.
On.
So my idea is that I'm gonna spend some time once I get done with my current life-consuming goal of what I'm doing in school.
Infatuation.
That when I get done with that,
infatuation.
Once you're done helping people,
Once I'm done helping
fixing
people
the human population.
Yeah. Once I'm done with that.
Once you've fixed humanity.
Once I've fixed everyone, then I'm going to start my EDM career, and my whole like ego. There's like Deadmau5, who has like the mask, and there's like the
ears.
And there's like Daft Punk. They've got their things. My thing is I'm gonna go up on stage and I'm gonna have one of those like a shawl like wrapped around my head and shoulders, and I'm gonna have like a rubber mask that's like an old woman. And my whole thing is I'm going to get up there, and my stage name is going to be Babushka. And I'm going to get up there and just says, it's going to be all quiet. It's like, give me beats. Blah, 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 blah. It's just going to be a dumb play on words. The whole thing.
All right.
I stand in
This
line.
is fucking genius.
I stand in line all day. For beats. Oh,
Goddamn genius.
Like I'm saying on the cover, it's got to be BEETS because it's beats. You're waiting for beats.
For sure.
Not
beats.
BEATS.
Yeah.
And then I suggested
that
we could have a duo.
Yeah,
and
a duo.
You would be Babushka, and then I could, fill the role of the Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
House with chicken legs, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm sure we're not gonna be. I'm sure we're not gonna be accused of some cultural appropriation or something. We can definitely do this, and everyone will be happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come forwd with my alter ego. It's just not appropriate.
It's gonna be
to the Italians.
Oh yeah. Sean's alter ego is not gonna be publicized.
I'm reworking it. We're still drafting that one.
Yeah. We gotta talk to the marketing
We're
team
in talks
about that.
And the legal department.
The legal department.
God almighty.
Oh god. If you could go back and like reinvent yourself, because like like the whole thing, there for a long
Stripper.
time.
I would be a stripper.
All right, there you go.
No hesitation.
Question answered. Well, like because I guess like in the music scene, there are obviously people who have masks and keep their identity secret. But like if you could do something like that, if you could go out and do something like that, like as like a second career, like would you be like a masked musician? Or like if you could be like a masked lawyer? Imagine if we did that instead. If every profession you could just show up with a mask on instead, and that would be like your whole
Here's
mystique.
the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. We already do.
Take off the mask, Joe.
About it.
All right,
Take off the
mask. You that smug look
Think
off
about
your face.
All right.
They're actually I don't know. Did you guys hear about this? Did you guys hear about this guy who, like, I can't remember what country it was. I think it was like a country in Africa. This guy was running for president, and his identity was completely secret. He like had like a mask, like a Daft Punk style, like kind of helmet that he wore for everything.
No.
I
This is
have not heard
recently?
about this.
I don't know if it's recent. Like, I definitely was something that happened. I don't know. Like, how wild would that be? Like, you could like show up to, like, again, like imagine like like the masked lawyer who just like shows up with his big weird mask and no one actually knows who he is.
Joe, you're just doing Daredevil. Like, now you're doing copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Like,
You're right. It's already been done.
it's done. Yeah, Simpsons
Yeah, that's
did it.
fair. Simpsons did it. Simpsons has always done it.
They've done everything.
They've done it all. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I don't. It's also worth noting that anyone who knows anything about EDM, I don't know shit about music. I don't know a fucking thing. It's certainly not about EDM. It
The
really got
first
Sean.
rule is there are no rules, Joe.
Is that it? No rules, only guidelines.
And
Beats.
There's a huge precedent for like masked artists. Like I think when didn't the Knife wear masks when they first started out?
they? Well, even
I
the
don't think
you know
so.
the
They
gor-
just
the
always had weird
gorillas.
paint on their face.
The gorillas, like no one knew who they were for a long time. They had their animated
Yeah, it's like avatars.
people. Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I just remember this is probably a decade ago when Jay-Z, I think, started his own music streaming software. It was supposed to give you like more royalties. I forgot what it was called. And it was all these like, big artists there, and they're, Beyonce and other people are like, it's just so great to come together. There's like no ego, and then it pans to Daft Punk and they're sitting there with their helmets on. It's like there's no ego whatsoever. It's just like they got this huge ass mask on.
What is a famous, like, he's a rapper. He wears a mask, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking because I don't know enough about that.
We just don't consume enough rap.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to do it. Like I don't know. It's like, do they do it? Like, do you think it's because of the mystique, or do you think there's like a oh no, I actually don't want people to know who I am? And
it's not gonna.
I'll tell you exactly the appeal for it. It's you can put on a persona, and you don't have to be yourself on stage. It's like that.
Yeah, it's
that is
probably
the reason.
twofold, and then it's also a spectacle type thing.
right.
But you're gonna.
Well, like even
No, I
when-
think the spectacle aspect is just like an added bonus.
Right.
Like,
I don't know. I think these times are over. Like, you're gonna have to be physically present if you want to do that kind of shit. In our current times,
What?
There's no more like anonymity or
If we-
animated characters that you can adopt.
Isn't there an artist in like Korea or something who has like a 3D avatar hologram who like
So many.
performs on stage while she like sings?
But you don't know if they're actually real.
I guess not.
I have a radical idea. I think we should wear Taylor Swift masks when you do this podcast.
Wow.
Huh.
You're
Swifties for
correct.
Green Box Gaming.
Do
You're
we?
correct. It was radical.
Can we?
Swifties for Green Box Gaming.
Do we get to keep our
It's an
labels?
ambitious crossover. It's an ambitious crossover.
God damn.
I've seen our breakdowns of kind of like the demographics of our audience. I don't think there's a lot of Swifties in there, man. Like, I'm just saying. Like,
Speaking of centipedes.
okay.
Oh, what?
Speaking of centipedes.
Did I do it right?
John, I absolutely lost the thread.
I did it right.
For a minute, I was like, have we started recording yet? Are we still just shooting the shit? No, this is an actual session, and we must play.
You know, it's weird. It's like our second episode banter is typically not as good as the first one because we're kind of fried.
Yeah.
You know, by the time we get to the second one.
Or
Anyway. Or better, depending on, you know, kind of what flavor you like in that. So yeah. Anyway, speaking of unknowable things,
centipedes.
let's talk about. Speaking of things that wear masks, let's talk about Delta Green Impossible Landscapes. How about that?
You really made it happen. You made it happen.
I really crowbarred it in. Last time, guys. Last time. You guys are in the labyrinth. And as mentioned at the back end of last episode, we did technically spend the entire episode in one room, which I love. I love from the bottom of my heart.
I take
Like,
issue.
it is one of my favorite things we do.
A labyrinth as an entire room. No.
I don't think you guys left this one chamber.
Hallway. It was like,
Yeah.
that's what I
a fair
imagine.
point. Fine. Fair.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call it, for all intents and purposes, a room. Last time,
Look, it's a character drama.
it's a character drama, guys. You guys are in the labyrinth. You are trying to track down Jason Lynch's bottle, supposedly. You guys, last time, you basically, you know, you guys had run in everything that happened in the Dorchester and everything that happened in the Broad Albin. You guys have made your way here. When you got here, one of the things that you realized, you know, and it's something I covered in the last one, was when Benji consumed this bug and got lucky and had a bit of an insight. Oh, it needs to be dark. So you guys had the sommelier, or what you think is the sommelier at least, this mannequin that you guys have seen previously, kind of come forward and seem to invite you to something. And you guys and Hank Ellis, in what I think was a very character appropriate reaction, turns on this thing and like shines his light on it. Like, to be frank, like I think that's
Agreed.
exactly
Spot on.
what Hank would have done. I think Hank would have been like, "The fuck," and turned around.
Yep.
You know, at this thing, and saw this thing retreat out of the darkness. You know, and you guys are kind of like, you know, well, shit. You know, we think that was the way forward. You know, from a meta perspective, fuck, that was the way forward in this labyrinth. You guys decided that you were okay. Let's just wait. Let's see what happened. This time, you guys turned off your lights and kind of waited, and out of the darkness came a woman who was mortally wounded. You guys opened up her. I think what was the name? It was a Geneva something.
Geneva Brown.
Name I can't. Geneva Brown. There you go. Some type of federal agent. Geneva Brown, who stumbled out of the darkness, and you guys don't know what the hell is going on. This place is obviously just absolutely fucking bonkers. And at the end, you guys decide to do something. Let me rephrase that. I think Benji comes up with the idea. You know, and the funny thing is like, you know, completely out of like character, you know, and complete from a meta perspective, or not from a meta perspective, from a very much in character perspective. Benji's sanity is super low. He's not doing well mentally.
Nope.
And I think this is actually something that he would do. And it's like, and, you know, it's something that you guys have observed over the years, over this mission in Impossible Landscapes, is you guys have observed the kind of, what would you call it? Like the paranormal manifestations of the King in Yellow. They seem to draw in artists and art of all types. And
Yeah.
going back, and keep in mind, I don't know if you guys remember this now. I might remind you of this real quick. Benji, there was actually a time where you read The King in Yellow back in 1995, and you kind of
really
woke
good at
up.
guitar.
You got really, really good at guitar off the back of it, and you kind of woke up kind of singing and playing this song that you would never sung in a bar,
Oh yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
I recall that.
So Benji kind of starts belting out this song. You guys are in the darkness, in the labyrinth, and it echoes out. But then the song begins to be matched. The song begins to be sung back to you.
If I came coming.
I wish I knew the lyrics because I would have done it in the voice as well. It would be fun. But you hear the song being sung back, this old blues song, by a voice that Benji has not heard since, I think, 1990? I think. When Benji had journeyed down south to a crossroads. Clarksdale, Mississippi, a famous crossroads where I believe it was... Who's the blues musician?
Oh, it was Robert.
Robert Johnson. Old Robert Johnson. Where Robert Johnson supposedly had sold...
Old Bob Johnny
had supposedly sold his soul to the devil. And you had not heard this voice since then, but then you heard it. You heard him tell you, like, Benji Posh, you come a long way. You want to meet the king? Well, here you go. As you guys are all floored by the reverberating sound of a gong that rattles your bones, rattles your teeth in your mouth. You can feel it in the walls as you guys are all brought down to your knees. So, that is where we are at. So, keeping that in mind, all of that just happened. I actually, what is Benji's experience of hearing this voice? Like, these other guys, they hear the voice too, but this voice doesn't mean anything to them, right? What is before the gong, before your mind is basically racked with essentially pain? What goes through Benji's head?
Fear.
Just absolute fear.
You got to picture it cinematically. He's got, blood on his face from this dead woman that he tried to fix and couldn't. And he's just like rocking back and forth in a labyrinth.
In the dark.
In the middle of nowhere.
Right.
In the dark.
In the pitch dark.
And in an impossible landscape, one might say.
One could even say.
At the lowest point in his life, like without direction. And then he hears this voice again.
I think you're right. He should roll a sanity check.
Oh, we're gonna get to it. Don't worry. Sean.
That'll happen.
Brad, are you with us?
I think he was just gonna be right back.
Yeah,
he'll be back shortly.
Okay.
I can hear him.
Okay.
So I would amend that. It would be fear at first upon hearing that voice, but also like a little bit of comfort. Like
that's something recognizable in the dark, in nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in this place,
in this specific circumstance, like anything that is familiar might be comforting.
Yeah.
So here's actually a question. So, we had, and this is something we never really talked about. This, Benji has a PhD in music, right? He's Dr. Potts, right? And you had originally talked about, a long time ago that you were kind of writing about the unnatural and the blues, right? That was how Benji kind of got introduced to Delta Green.
Yeah.
What did Benji ever write about that encounter at Clarksdale? Did he ever actually write about it?
Certainly, he wouldn't have published it, but his, he's working on his like personal dissertation,
It's
which will never be published. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What do you call that figure you ran into that night? What does Benji call it? Because you came there to try to meet the devil.
I think he would call it the devil.
Okay. Yeah. So here you are. You hear this voice chuckle. And the other two of you, Hank and Benedict, so this voice doesn't mean anything to you, but there is an innate reaction, in like very much a physical reaction, where like the hairs on your neck stand up at the chortle of this laugh. That
if I could go so far, I would imagine that it's like when you're at a concert and the bass is so hard that you feel it in your chest, like it makes you vibrate. That's what I imagine this voice sounded like.
And when you guys hear this, like it sends literally like a cold shiver up your spine. You guys, and there's probably barely a moment where maybe either Benedict or Hank kind of say, like, hey, Benji, do you know this guy?
Yeah, that's exactly what Hank would say.
And there's a moment like where you're about to say that, right before this gong goes off. When I say gong, like it sounds exactly like that. Except imagine having your head inside 3 gongs, like just right in the middle of them. And it's just, I mean, and when I say it rattles, have any of you ever experienced a sound so loud that it actually shakes your eyes? And you can see that it's shaking your eyes?
I don't think I've experienced that.
I can't say I have, but I would imagine being like inside of a 10-foot diameter bell when it rings.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen like a cartoon of like someone with their head inside a bell, like it's rung, like, and just like
I'll tell you. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'll tell you, I have had my head right next to a gong when someone hits it.
Yeah.
As good as.
Been there.
So I know what that feels like.
But yeah, so you guys all go down. So
it's also just making me think of the really loud honking noise that we heard in the apartment first time around at Abigail's apartment.
Similar.
And we saw a man with a snake around his neck walking down the road.
Oh, the recall on this guy.
Yeah.
Joking level, right?
So
memory on memory, bro.
I don't know if that's. I need to be a little better.
That big brain,
I need to be a little better with the jokins. I need to give them more often. But I don't know if that's joking worthy. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, fair.
That is absolutely joking worthy.
You think that's joking worthy?
That's how crypto works, bro.
I don't know.
You gotta give out to get back.
So everyone, go ahead and roll me your sanity checks.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Let's go ahead and get those going.
Fail.
Success.
Wow. Benji.
For Benji.
Honestly, we need Benji to be
actually
as sane as possible.
Is that your negative 10?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me.
It's all good.
That's still with negative 10.
Even with the negative 10, that would have passed. But it kind of makes sense because,
damn it.
This is his new comfort zone, like in this insane place.
Right.
Joe's actively cringing that Benji doesn't get to go insane.
Damn it.
Roll again.
It just makes things complicated for you guys. Well, especially because you two who failed take 1 sanity damage. This is from unnatural. You guys are gonna have. If Benji would have had this, because Benji's has this catatonia thing, that would have complicated things for you guys. Last time Benji had a took some unnatural damage. It fucked you guys up pretty bad. It kind of got you lost in the basement. So you guys hear this gong, and the reverberation begins to fade as a gong does, and you guys realize that there's another sound behind all the gongs. And again, you guys are in pitch black, or maybe you just turn on the light or something, and you hear that from echoing down one of the ways, and seemingly coming towards you are the sounds of pipes and flutes and horns, like a parade, almost. Like there's something coming. Like there's 100 musicians all coming your way.
Second line.
What do you do? Second line is coming. What do you do? What do you do? You guys are all here, and like you're all on your knees, and you two probably have a lot of questions for Benji.
Yeah, Benji is.
They're coming.
What's happening right now?
They're coming towards
us.
It sounds like something. It sounds like this music is getting closer.
He's like, kind of holding his ears. He's like, Jesus, Benji, who was that?
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
How can I not?
Oh, that was the devil.
Oh,
Jesus.
I imagine you guys are yelling at each other. That was the devil.
Say again!
Absolutely yelling.
The devil!
The devil. It was the literal devil.
Do we want to hang around for this? Is Benji... You're taking the lead here.
I don't know. Man, I don't know.
Let's try to follow that voice. Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. Hank will try to get everyone to like...
Feel the music. Feel the music. Dance with the rhythm. Go with the
Dance.
flow.
Okay, dance, Hank. Hank, dance.
Be a part of it.
He like...
Yep.
No,
Dance.
I'm not dancing.
Dance.
He's going to try to pull y'all towards the voice.
No,
You're
he's
gonna
going to
try
resist.
to go toward the voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Benedict is resisting.
It sounds like
He's
Benedict
staying
doesn't
put.
want to go toward the voice.
He's following Benji. Benji's driving this thing. And he's bringing Hank down with him.
And Benji is solidly doing that dance in Pulp Fiction.
He's dancing.
When they're in the diner, which is just like the twist. He's just doing the twist.
The light is on, and I think
Okay.
Benedict has dropped the light now. It's like casting shadows up from the bottom, while we're just dancing ridiculously.
And Hank. So here's the thing.
This is
You guys,
absurd.
So Hank has his flashlight, but it is barely flickering. So and it's flickering in that way. It's like almost like strobing a little bit. So you're only getting little flashes of what's going on here. And these two are yelling, and you guys are still yelling because your heads are still ringing. And Hank, as you're kind of like, you're kind of turned towards where the music is coming from, you see that. You see something that was not there previously. You see that on the wall, or replacing one of the wide walls of this labyrinth, is now a velvet red curtain from ceiling to floor.
Look! And he's like going to try to snap them out of their dancing fits.
Dance mania.
I cannot emphasize enough how absurd the scene is. Benji's face covered in blood. There's a dead corpse in the hallway. There's a second line coming up, and Benji and Benedict are just doing the twist. And then all of a sudden, a red curtain comes, and Hank's like,
Brad, go ahead and roll me a luck roll for Hank. Tell me if you're lucky or unlucky, please. Your light goes out. You don't know if it's gonna come back.
oh, I will add to that the strobing effect, and now it goes.
And then it gives up the ghost.
Okay, I think
Hank would be
Benedict
like,
would be
"Oh,
scared now.
Damn it. You fellas can dance all you want. I'm going for this red curtain. I got to get out of here.
So it sounds like the music is like coming up behind the curtain almost. Like it's getting
it's coming
closer
from the curtain.
and closer.
Okay.
Actually, you know what is on the other side of a curtain every time we've seen that is a fucking stage.
That's true.
All right, Benedict, that's our sign.
I'm with you, Benji.
Let's get after it.
Pitter patter and all that.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. But can we
are
actually
you guys
get
gonna
towards
are you
it?
guys gonna attempt to create some type of light, or
And
Can
Benji is not.
well?
so it's
Hank
pitch,
just
it's pitch
saw
black.
it,
You can't see shit.
but Hank just saw it. Can he maybe get to it without seeing?
Yeah, I know the direction it was
Like maybe you can
at,
roll
surely.
something to get us there.
Yeah, surely can I not just walk directly where I saw it last?
He also wasn't spinning and dancing, so he's got orientation.
Yeah, I would say that you can probably head toward it. You can probably walk toward it in the black, like in the inky black. You know, you kind of extending your hands forward. You know, before you kind of get there, you begin to hear the sound of water. It sounds like there is water running, and very quickly you realize that there's something on the ground. It seems thicker than water, but there's something. It seems to be flowing out from the direction you're facing, Hank.
Where the curtain is.
Yep. So that's what Hank's doing.
Oh, wait, we've
What about?
This is a fucking David. This is a David Lynch film.
It is.
What is
love
Benji
this.
doing?
Benji's making his way towards the curtain.
Okay, Benji's also heading towards the curtain. What about Benedict?
Benedict is following Benji.
All right, like hand on his shoulder or something.
Hand on his hips. We're doing a conga line.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we conga line into the red curtain.
Into the king.
Okay. All right. The music is swelling into a kind of a crescendo, and you hear from behind you somewhere this chuckling again. It's like, and you hear it's like, and so goes the story of Benji Potts. So much potential. And at that, there are lights that go poof and blast onto the curtain and illuminate it in totality, and probably almost knocking you guys back, just the flash of it. And the music rises and cuts in a moment. And Hank, you see that you are standing, and there is water, and you see that there is a kind of stage. You can kind of see like the edge of kind of a stage, and from underneath the curtain is gushing this thick, clear liquid. And it's like, it's flowing out, but it's kind of piling up on itself because it's not as thin as water. It's thick, and it's pouring out. It's almost up to your ankles, Hank, as you look down, and you look up at the curtain, and you think you can just make out the movement of someone behind it. Everyone roll me another sanity check, please.
Sure.
Come on.
This seems
Thousands of
fine. I mean, there's so many times I've been
Totally normal.
surrounded by weird viscous liquid in the dark. Success.
Ink fill.
Failure for Benji.
A failure for Benji
Yeah.
and Hank. All right, everyone take 1 damage who failed. Benji.
Well, this is
Benji, what are you going to do? Are you going to attempt to repress?
he had a breaking point. Or he's just doing that every time
No.
he loses sand.
He's going to do his catatonia because he's losing sanity from unnatural.
Wait, hit me with that again.
You are about.
Am I gonna go catatonic if I don't repress?
You're gonna, yeah. If you want to continue to be an actor in this, then you are going to need to
Play.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a slip.
yeah.
We got him.
We got him. I'm gonna repress.
All right. And as
I've
usual,
taken my-
I have to look up the repression rules.
Yeah.
So there's temporary insanity, resisting insanity.
What's the homebrew mechanic that we came up with?
Pushing willpower.
We didn't come up with a homebrew thing for this. Is that you basically you need to. But here's the problem. How much willpower do you have?
1.
if you burn that willpower, you will automatically basically have an emotional breakdown and become catatonic anyway. So I'm going to tell you it's actually kind of impossible for you to repress.
Yep.
Because your willpower is so low.
Shit. So my choices are literally go catatonic or Benji dies, essentially. Like when you lose your willpower. What happens when you lose your willpower points in Delta Green?
When your willpower points go all the way down, you have what they call as an emotional breakdown, and you basically kind of go catatonic. Basically you cannot do anything. You kind of just like lose all capacity to do anything, which so essentially is catatonia.
My choices are go catatonic or go catatonic.
Yes, it's go catatonic or burn one willpower and go catatonic.
So it seems like let's hold on to that willpower. Might be useful. It's like a donation
on the back
to
end.
A charitable fund.
Orphans who don't have any willpower.
God damn it.
Benji.
Okay.
As this kind of happens, Hank, Benedict, you're there with Benji, and you have your hand on his hips because you guys are doing the conga line thing. And Hank, you're maybe a bit in front. Does Hank have a weapon in his hand or anything, or is he just kind of going toward the? I'm sorry, am I boring?
I think he would. I think he would have his definitely his AR out.
Okay, you got your rifle, kind of up and at the ready, and you hear this kind of splash, and you look over your shoulder real quick and see Benji has fallen to his knees, head down, eyes up at the curtain.
He's just like staring at it.
We're on the stage, right?
You're not on the stage. No.
We're in the labyrinth. There's music and a spot. No, sorry, no music now. There's a spotlight behind us, magically shining at this red curtain that's in front of us. And there might be someone behind the red curtain. I think
Benedict surely is
kind of
behind him and can just carry him forward.
I think but Hank is gonna do this is kind of cinematic. He's gonna see Benji just drop and just stare at the curtain, and then Hank's gonna with his gun slowly look at the curtain and pull it back.
Okay, we're gonna take this turn by turn. Okay.
Okay.
So Hank wants to move up to the curtain and attempt to pull it back. Okay, and Benji is going to drool. That's Benji's action.
I have a flavor of catatonia that I'd like to pursue. But let's
drool.
You go ahead. Let's take it turn by turn.
What is Benedict going to do? Is Benedict going to try to do anything with Benji?
Well, I mean, he's going to go from his hands on his hip to Benji being face forward. His hands are still on his hip, but he's going to try and oh shit. And he's going to try and get his arm under his
scoop him up,
armpit, and scoop him up to try and carry him forward to catch up to Hank.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, give me a strength roll for that, or something related, some strength kind of thing to kind of manhandle Benji. He is a grown man. They're not super hard to move around. They're not super easy to move around. Oh, what was that, John?
That's a big old fumble on my strength roll.
Is it? Jeez. Really?
Right.
Oh, that's bad.
You
really bad.
Slip and fall. Benji kind of stays where he is, but you kind of slip and fall. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to roll a dice here.
Do I hurt myself?
I think we can all agree that 1d4 is too much. But we're gonna half this.
Wait! Before we do this, can I push this? Or is pushing not allowed with fumbles?
Do you want to push this? No, you.
No, it feels. We should maybe check this rule set. Fumble is catastrophic failure.
You can push. You can push whenever you want.
What's worse than a fumble? If it goes bad.
What is worse than a fumble?
2 fumbles.
Good question.
Fumble. All right, I'm gonna push it then.
All right, roll your willpower.
Roll
1d4
Is it worth
willpower.
it, John?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a 2.
Burn 2
2
willpower.
And then
Yep.
That's harsh.
And then roll your strength thing again. Let's see what happens.
if I get a fumble again, highly unlikely. Very low odds.
If you get another
Success!
fumble again, I'm gonna fuck you. Okay.
Intense.
Amazing.
All right.
It makes total sense.
You're able to like kind of you grab
So
Benji's arm
important.
and you put it over your shoulder and kind of pick him up, kind of like it's like a scene from Band of Brothers or something.
Yeah.
Like you like got your hand around his waist and his shoulder, his arm over your shoulder. You got him picked up. Okay, that is what everyone's doing.
It makes total sense because Benji is one of Benedict's bonds.
Yeah,
so
this is
like, he
important.
would do that.
He would have tripped and like almost bitten Benji a little bit, but then caught himself and turned it into a cool move to just look like a hero after biting him
It's
in
like
the shoulder.
have you seen the Ranger carry? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about when you like do a roll and pick a prone person up and put them on your
as you
shoulders.
go, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Hank gets up to the curtain, and Hank, you're going to move up to the curtain, and right as you do, you see a hand come between the two curtains, and it slowly curls its elongated and pale fingers,
We've seen that before.
Don't like that.
covered in bandages, of all things, around the edge of the curtain. And you hear the sound of like a bass drum, like dum 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 dum, like something's about to happen. So what is Hank going to do? I know what Benji's going to do. Benji, or what was your flavor?
What's
What
the
your
flavor
for
Drool?
Benji?
Yeah.
If I mean, I have to go into catatonic state, and I think it's just Benji's on a stage, and this is where he lives half of his life, playing music on a stage. So he's just gonna devolve. That's his first instinct. He's on a stage. He's gonna play music. He's gonna start singing.
Okay.
He's gonna start performing. Is there a guitar on the stage?
In Benji's head, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely in Benji's head. In Benji's
Benji
head,
will pick up that guitar and start playing some T model forward.
in Benji's head, the audience is there and they're looking up excitedly, and Benedict's there too, and Benedict's playing backup. You know?
Oh, that's great.
That's fun. Hank's on bass.
Hank would be a bass player.
He would be bass.
Oh,
player.
yeah.
I feel like Benedict has drum energy.
Okay. But yeah, so Benedict and Hank, or Hank, what are you gonna do?
Hank's gonna pull the curtain. Not even wait for this hand to pull back. His gun's ready. He's just gonna pull the curtain.
Roll a power roll. Let us see.
Succeed.
That's a good success.
Hank, you have your rifle holding, like, kind of in your right hand, and you reach up with your left. And as you reach up to your left, it's almost as if you're trying to... You know when you try to push two magnets together? And they try to push each other apart? You feel not just... Like, there is almost like it is hard to touch it, but it's as if your body... Everything in your body is telling you, no. But you overcome it. And you push through, and you rend back the curtain. What does Benedict do? In that
Wait, what do we
moment as this
see?
is about to happen? What do you do? I want to know. So this is what Hank has done. You haven't seen the fallout yet. What's Benedict going to do?
How far back am I from Hank?
10 feet?
I think we're just
You're
going
gonna
to try
shoot
and
him,
catch up. Just bam, 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 bam.
Take him out.
Yeah. No, I think he's tending to Benji in that moment. He's trying to keep up with Hank. There's probably not a risk of losing Hank. So is there anything he can do to get Benji back?
No, it takes
No
time
slapping?
to talk someone down. Yeah, no slapping's not going to work. I would like a power roll from you as well.
Okay, well, I think he'd want to then get close to Hank and keep the group together. His prerogative is to keep the group together, but he gets a 98 failure.
As you see Hank reaching towards the curtain, almost involuntarily the words escape your lips. No. And you find yourself leaning down and vomiting.
What?
Like Benedict, like still holding Benji up, you go down and you vomit on your shoes.
Can I keep walking though? Because I've seen this. I've seen somebody's nephew just like vomit and keep walking and then make like a line.
Just keep going.
It may have been a family thing.
Like you maybe take a single step forward and just something about it. When the three of you... Well, actually, let's talk about what Benji sees. Benji, you're standing. You're standing there. You just got done with a big show. Everyone's clapping. And you and your buddy Benedict are arm in arm. You know, he's got his arm over your shoulder and you've got yours over his. And the crowd is roaring. And you see in the middle of the audience, everyone else is standing and clapping. And there's all smiles. And you see that in the middle of everything, in the middle of all of it, you see what looks to be the figure of a person. You can't really tell man or woman necessarily. Tall, wearing a flowing golden cloak, but it's unraveling at the edges. On its face is a flat, expressionless white mask. And he is standing, unmoving, unnerved, unmoved, seemingly by your performance. And you feel, and as your eyes lock with the empty mask, and you see the crown sat upon its head, you are filled with absolute and total dread.
Dread?
Dread.
That is so... Okay, so as you were narrating that, I was listening to Sail On by T-Model Ford, which is the song that Benji is playing on stage. And I was actually playing that while you're narrating. Man, copyright shit. I wish we could overlay that.
Yeah.
You can do your version. You just have to learn to play it, and then we can upload it.
Oh, it's so fucking good. Guys,
But
check
that's-
out T-Model Ford.
All right.
That's what Benji sees.
And so
Go ahead.
I'm in this euphoric state. I'm playing Sail On. I'm playing this song that my mentor taught me. And then I look out and I see this figure and I'm filled with dread.
Indeed.
So fingers stop playing, guitar drops stagnant. What happens?
The other two of you also see this figure. You see it standing there, arm out, as if it was about to part the curtain. And Hank, as you pull back the curtain on it, seemingly preempting its entrance, the head in the mask turns jerkily towards you, as if it is not sharp and crisp like that. Like it judders and shifts to look down at you. It's easily 8 feet tall.
You said it, but it was a human hand and it had like bandages on it.
Correct. And you hear the sounds of horns and trumpets and a chorus that you can barely make out. the last king comes. The last king comes. All around you. You two roll sanity checks for me, please.
God almighty. If you could set that narrative to Sail On by T-Mobile Ford, that would be so it would be so fucking epic.
All right, I actually passed this one.
I failed this one.
Okay. All right, Jean. Brad, you can take one sanity damage. Jean, roll a d6, please.
6.
Yep.
That's a 3.
Would you like to deflect?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a d4.
It's a 4. Oh, that hurts.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and... Did we decide that you're going to burn everything, even if it's over the sanity amount?
I can't remember.
I'll say you only burn 3. Burn 3 willpower, burn 3 bonds from someone.
Okay. I'm burning it from Hank.
Okay.
He's the one that
Hank,
got
you guys
us in
aren't
this
just don't feel as close
situation.
anymore.
I blame him.
Now-
for that torch. He keeps switching on the lights and pulling back the curtains. And I'm like,
I don't think I was the one that started singing the blues.
So as you guys are looking up here at this thing, you, Benedict, you again are hit by a fresh and intense wave of nausea.
Can I stop it? Can I
And-
stop vomiting?
You both find yourself taking a step back from this thing involuntarily. Hank, what do you do?
We pull back the curtain. There's no crowd. We just hear like this chanting, instruments, and all we see is basically the King in Yellow.
You see this entity in front of you. What does Hank do?
This is bad.
What does Hank do?
Hank's like, "Where's Alice, you bastard?" Pointing the gun at him.
Roll me a power roll.
God. The man's got
He's
stones.
so bold.
50, right on
I'm-
it.
Actually, I'm sorry. I should have told you to roll a power roll at -20.
Oh no!
So that's a failure.
Oh,
That's so
don't take that
sad.
away from
I'm
him.
sorry.
Oh, it's just on the edge.
I'm sorry. Of glory.
I failed the power roll, I guess.
Wait a second. 18%. No, sorry. It is a -20 on all rolls.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
So you were
failed
you were about to try to say something. Nothing comes out. I'm gonna say. I'm tempted to say you freeze in place. That's what I'm tempted to do. Is there anything
Hank
else you want to
doesn't
do
get
besides
shaken
say
easily.
something?
I think that's all he would attempt to try to do at that moment.
He's just okay. Benedict, what do you want to do?
Are we caught up with Hank?
Not really.
I feel like this is a clown situation. By the way, you too. I feel like this is a clown situation.
Benedict would want to keep going and stick together, so he's going to try and get back to Hank with Benji on tow.
Oh, wait a second.
I think.
Wait a second.
What?
Sean, did you fail your roll when you saw this thing?
The sanity.
Yeah.
Hold up. So, did the power roll?
You failed, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a dice here real quick. That's a 4. For the next 4 turns, you are awestruck and unable
Jesus
to act
Christ.
in any
4
way.
turns? 4 turns. That's the entire encounter.
So, Benedict, if you want to roll me another power roll, see if you can overcome this, go ahead.
I think that's the only option I've got.
Yep.
That's a success. 42 under 45.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I want to catch up to Hank.
All right, you're going to get up there to Hank as this thing is staring down at him. And even maybe as you get up there to Hank and are able to like put, and again, you have Benji kind of over your shoulder and you're able to put a hand on Hank. You see this thing's head also kind of jerkily judders toward you now.
Can I do anything?
I will say no, you were hauling another man moving about 10 feet. You made it, you did good to get this far.
Well, I just want to shout at him, so that's fine. I can save it.
Shout. What are you going to say?
So what are you doing? Get out of our way!
Oh,
Benji,
King and yellow.
At the king.
Benji, you look out and suddenly the audience, everyone in the audience who's clapping and cheering, all at once, every single one of them slumps down, seemingly completely inert. You realize now that every one of them is mannequin. Every one of them is American.
They're
They're all
They're
Americans.
Americans. Every single
This
one.
is a
Good
nightmare.
God, man.
Oh God! What horror!
Ugh.
They all slump down as you see the king is now like moving toward you. You see it's now like in the front row, moving imperceptibly close to you. And your knees are shaking. You look down and all the strings on your guitar, one by one, bing, 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 they all break and curl up around the
Nightmare.
the neck of the guitar.
Yeah, that's enough to make any musician
That,
sing.
that is the real nightmare.
All right, I'm going to make a very important roll. A
I
very
think Benji
important roll.
is about to die.
Of stage fright.
Benedict, I need you to roll. What's your dodge skill, by chance?
34.
Not going to be good enough. There's no way for you to succeed. There's no way for you to attempt to keep this thing from reaching out and touching Benji.
Oh. What about a
It
dexterity?
reaches out.
I want to fucking vomit right now.
What about a dexterity?
No. I would give you the opportunity to do a dodge roll, but there's no way you can even succeed.
What about an unarmed
Because
combat?
This is happening. You're doing this to me.
Like, can I unarmed
The hand
combat
goes
him?
out. The hand goes out as if to cup Benji's chin. His head still up, transfixed. This bandaged hand extends, and it extends way too far out from underneath this cloak.
Question. Can I attempt to dodge, or is it just impossible?
You'll be at a negative 40. So, it's impossible.
Can I burn willpower preemptively?
This is definitely a bingo card moment for Jean of trying
Absolutely.
to argue his
That's
way
what I do.
into this.
All right,
don't
no,
think
I
so.
I can leave it. All right.
I don't think you can
This
push
is just
yourself
happening.
for this. I want to look at something real quick. I want to look at something real
know
quick
what?
to make sure I do this.
This,
right.
I
you
want
know-
to yell.
you know,
It's just inappropriate.
And you got balloons
something like it's something like
on your
this.
fucking camera.
Um, you know what? This is kind of giving me thinking. I know we have jittery movements from like the mannequins, but there's also this thing with like bugs. What if the thing is like a giant like alien insect
Oh,
in
God.
reality?
I don't want that.
Like it's like that's the jittery movement that I'm like picturing is like some kind of fucking praying mantis or something.
I'm gonna roll a dice. as the fingers make contact with Benji's chin.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. $59.
Well, what the fuck happens?
59 on a D100. How many hit points does
That's unlucky.
Benji have?
Oh, he's just gonna explode.
Say again.
How many hit points does Benji have?
9. Oh, fuck.
The hand goes out and for just a moment lifts Benji's chin. Benedict, you feel the weight of Benji decrease as he is seemingly desiccates and rots
Oh no!
Jesus.
in a moment, going from a full grown man to bones that are bound together with only dust, the skin dripping off of his bones and splashing into the thick, murky liquid at your feet. In a moment, Benji Potts is gone, having been dealt 14 points of damage.
Oh,
You absolute motherfucker.
that is intense.
He is
Jeez.
absolutely obliterated by a mere touch.
I'm tearing up right now. How dare you do this to me?
Oh my god.
That is so brutal.
And that is probably where we need to call it.
Oof.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. Give out your Patreon shout out, you asshole. Whatever. Finish the episode.
Everyone,
Shame
Oh,
me.
that is amazing. Jeez.
everyone, thank you for joining us.
Oof.
I have officially killed my first Delta Green agent.
Jeez.
rough.
Benji's gone.
That is it.
Well done. That's some bad rolls.
am feeling feelings.
We will remember him fondly.
Dace is feeling feelings.
Feelings.
All right,
Oh man.
everyone, thank you for joining us. You know the Patreon spiel. Tell a friend. Highs and lows. Highs and lows.
Oof.
Thank you guys for being here with me today.
Yeah, thank you. That was good.
Good job, Joe.
That's a rough hand. That is a rough hand.
That is a rough hand. That is a rough
Well
hand.
played, Joe. I can't argue with that.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we play the
good.
game,
Beautiful.
right?
This is why I play
This
the
is
game.
why we play the game.
I'm not happy about it.
It is.
Well, we'll just save it for the sanity check.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
All right,
Honestly, it's a beautiful death.
Yeah.
it's
pretty good.
something.
And
And
that's all I'll say about it.
And real quick epilogue. Just give us this, Dace. In Benji's mind, what happens on that stage?
Oh, he's just playing Ceylon, T Model Ford.
Just with the last two strings he has,
Gets an encore.
just and maybe the figure raises its hands and the marionettes again come to their feet, this time still. And wherever Benji Potts is, wherever he is, he plays. And he plays. He plays for all of eternity. Again and again and again. Never tiring, never faltering.
I'm gonna miss this guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Stay safe and stay sane.
Bye.
Later.